Yes. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the second part of our meeting. The theme, of course, today is the wartime airmail of Hong Kong and China. And yes, I'm going to introduce the next speaker, who is Richard Whittington. Richard.
Yo.
Yeah, let me just do this. All right, okay. Right, I have enabled you to share your screen.
Thank you. I can find the blooming thing.
Yes, good.
You got it?
Yes, a lot of practice.
a lot of words here, so I'll try and go through this very quickly. A rather obscure happening in 1941. In the May and June, there were suspensions to the westbound, at least trunk service, the BOAC service between Sydney and Durban, and this had knock-on effects to Hong Kong mail. A bit of background, the Iraq Rebellion occurred at the beginning of May 41, and then British or Allied troops invaded Iraq and then moved into Syria and so on. And this disrupted flights around that area, including BOAC's trunk service. The service itself was resolved. The problem was resolved fairly quickly by using shuttles, short distance shuttles. But there were two aspects that caused the more drastic effect. One was that there was a major increase in mail coming out of Australia because Australian forces were principally involved in the Near East campaign. That was allied with a reduction in BOAC's actual number of aircraft and their carrying capacity. The service up until May was twice weekly, but this was reduced to a weekly service starting from service number 85, WS 85, leaving Singapore on the 13th of May. And after that, there were two flights coming into Singapore from Australia and only one going out. Obvious problems. And this continued until 17th of July. Some 20 services later. The consequences for Hong Kong were as follows. Just a summary, I think probably everybody knows this, but there were two ways of getting your airmail out of Hong Kong to Europe or Africa. One was via Rangoon, CNAC service, and or you could go by sea to Singapore, and Simon sort of mentioned all this earlier, so I won't bore you too much with that. But there were two suspension periods for these westbound mails. Basically, what happened was that mail for places up to Karachi, that would be Thailand, Rangoon and India, were not affected. And mails to Australia, not affected, as far as I know. But you can see on this little chart here, on the left side is the service number, and then the dates departing Singapore, Rangoon, and the CNAC feeder service from Hong Kong. The green ones got through to Durban, and the red ones did not. They did not carry mail from Singapore or Hong Kong, the red ones. And therefore, you can see there was an initial period of suspension and a second period there with a couple of flights in between. The asterisks are covers that I'll show you in a minute. Based on the Singapore newspapers and post office notices and all that stuff, there are a total of 6 mails, which are in red, that went by Rangoon. 1 in the first period and 5 in the second period. Now, what's not included here, because this is very much a work in progress, are surface mails. I have not done that. That is really quite difficult, but is in hand, so to speak. The suspension notices issued by Hong Kong, the first notice was 6th of May, and the final notice 13th of May. Well, that was consistent with the notifications in Singapore too. But the second suspension, first notice was on the 14th of June, and final notice 8th of July. And this is inconsistent. So I'm not 100% sure what happened there, but I'm more inclined to follow what was going on from Singapore, because that's where the planes were going from. So a while ago, I managed to buy correspondence between Mr. James Hunter, who was a surveyor in the Harbour Department in Hong Kong, and his wife, Louise. She was a doctor and she practiced in Hong Kong and was quite well known. But this correspondence, she was in Cape Province, Rondebosch, which is a suburb of Cape Town. So I've illustrated 1 or 2 of these covers to show you some of the things that happened or didn't happen, as it were. So cover number 1. Oh, by the way, this gentleman loved centenary covers. He sent many centenary covers to his wife. Not sure why. And he also had a habit of posting everything on Friday evening. Of course, Friday at 4:30 was the closing time for the CNAC flight. But unfortunately, when it changed to Monday, which I'll come to in a minute, he still kept posting them on Friday. So, maybe. The routing is there for you to read. I won't bore you. With this one, this was in the first period. So it's the 9th of May. And this cover probably, for reasons we'll come to, did not go beyond Rangoon until service was restored. As I mentioned earlier, the service was only missing 1 particular flight. It only affected 2 trunk service flights. And probably it was held at Rangoon. This was the only mail affected from Hong Kong. Moving on. Cover number 2 was a cover that was sent in the period between the 2 suspensions, and there were only 2 mails from Hong Kong via Rangoon. I emphasize that I haven't studied fully the surface Singapore route yet. So there were only 2 mails in this particular category. And then the third one, which is perhaps this one. This cover was sent on 20th of June, and it would have departed on the CNAC flight that left on the night or the very, very early morning of 24th of June. it would have reached Rangoon on the 24th and then went on to Calcutta, where it arrived on the 20th. I've checked with someone who knows more than I do about the sensor chop and tape, and this was in Calcutta. I originally thought that this probably went to Karachi, but I was told that no, these are Calcutta sensor markings. So it was offloaded at Calcutta and then sent, presumably by air. It would have gone by sea to South Africa. And you can see that it has on it a Jusqu'à marking, excuse my French, by air to Bombay in manuscript only, which is, I think, quite rare. I personally have seen another one of these. It went by sea to Singapore around about the same date. But that's the only one I know of, but I dare say there are many around. So this one was affected by a second. Now, although it wasn't stated in Hong Kong, in Singapore, they actually advertised that if you sent mail, it could not go to the UK at that time. Africa in this way, by air to India and then by surface at the same airmail rate. So during this period, if we follow the Singapore ones, there were five mails. It lasted for a longer period of time. So they're the covers. And then what needs to happen, presumably myself mainly, further research needed, particularly on the sea to Singapore stuff, which I have already started, but it is a difficult process because, as you know, in 1941, newspapers and everybody else could not advertise anything going by aircraft or ship, apart from Pan Am and Chinese. I also need to look at mail going to UK during that period. I haven't done that yet either. And then, of course, there's a further study of covers to affected destinations, Africa, Europe, particularly UK. I have also got that started, but a request for help. If anybody has got any of these things, then please check your collections or whatever and let me know. And of course, thank you very much for any help that you do give. Cheers, that's it.
Yeah. Thank you, Richard. Very interesting. Anybody got any questions to ask Richard?
I have covered to compliment Richard's research. Just very lucky. Can I show it?
Sure.
Okay, please wait just a moment.
I've got to say goodbye now, guys. So we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you, John.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Please wait. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one I've seen already.
Yes, that's what you want, Richard.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yes, so that's
Yeah.
$1.20. So that went by sea to
Yeah,
Singapore.
by air to Bombay. By air to Bombay only.
Exactly, same thing.
Yeah, but the rate change. There's a lot horseshoe rate. $1.50. Yes, $1.20.
Yeah, but the sender of this letter was the wife of the colonial secretary,
Yeah.
and she can afford 5 cents.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
And Lindsell was he was dead then. He was a judge in Hong Kong, but he had already died.
Yeah. So the back of the cover. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's from the Colonial Secretary House.
yeah, she was the wife of Mr. N.L. Smith.
Yeah.
This lucky man escaped from Hong Kong on the 7th of December.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. Thank you, Richard.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Angel, maybe I have another cover sent from China and the same period.
Mm.
Can I show it?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Do you see it?
Not yet. Yeah.
This cover was sent from Shanghai
Mm.
to India.
Yeah.
But he have the factor to be forward from Singapore,
Yeah.
and have the sense mark of the Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's the same period. Then June 9. Okay, and then this is the black 2 lines to be forward from Singapore. I don't know this tracker. Maybe it's applied in Hong Kong or Shanghai, but another cover I have, maybe this is applied in Hong Kong, I think. Do you then the to be forwarded from Singapore
In black.
in black.
Mm. Not seen on Hong Kong covers though. Mm.
I don't think the cover went into Hong Kong. It would probably straight to Singapore from Shanghai by sea.
I don't know, but I have never seen the sense of Hong Kong. No.
There's no Hong Kong mark there. There's Indian and Singapore.
Mm.
You means the cover sent direct by sea to Singapore,
Yeah,
and not by Hong Kong.
it looks like it.
Okay, maybe I have another cover sent from China. Also have this capture, but I can find it now. Maybe I will look at it, my correction, and then if I find it, I will show it again.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes, good idea. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
The mark should be applied in Singapore.
It'll probably be looks like a Singapore mark to me.
Richard, I have a question.
Right.
Yeah. The BOAC trunk surface was from Singapore, Bangkok to Calcutta, right? And for covers to Bombay, were they carried by air or by land from Calcutta to Bombay?
Not 100% sure. My assumption, because it says by air too, is that it went by air, but I don't know a huge amount about Indian internal flights, but there were flights from Bombay to Calcutta, but I'm not sure that they were direct.
Okay.
I think anyway, Calcutta was the office of exchange for all the mail coming into India, and it would be forwarded often by rail.
Oh, by rail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite possible.
And in your example, so if the service was dropped off at Calcutta or Bombay and then via sea route to Durban, then it should have got a sensor mark there in India, right? If there was no sensor mark from India, then we can assume that the mail was carried on in the BOAC trunk service to Cairo and then Durban, right?
Exactly. That was my assumption with that first cover, because there were no sensor markings or anything on it, but it was subject to the first suspension. But there were, my assumption with that was that it did not transit in India.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions?
Where is John?
I think he's raised his hands. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Just see your forehead only.
Oh, Pharaoh,
Okay.
Pharaoh.
I would like to share some covers.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me try.
Cannot see.
Yeah, let me see.
You look very relaxed, John.
Yeah, is it? Okay. This is the first time I use this one. Oh, shit. Wow.
What are you doing, John?
I'm trying to share something.
You're only sharing your forehead only.
I think this is the one. Not this one. Okay.
And you need to click share screen at the bottom of the
Yes.
screen.
Then the green tab.
Yeah, you're doing it.
You're almost there.
Yeah. Is it? There's no. I want to show what is inside my camera. So. Huh? 有冇個 camera？
唔係 camera， 你想影啊而家？
唔係，我擺咗喺影咗嗰度，影相嗰度，影像啊。
影像啊。
喺度就相簿。OK。
There comes IT support.
Yeah. It's coming. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good things always coming late. Okay.
Yeah. Don't hurry.
Can you see the cover?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's sent from where? Sent from Hanoi to the U.S.
New York.
So it's sent on the 2nd of December, 1941, and and then I'll show also the back at the back, the back of the covers. This one, yeah. This covers has been sent in 1941, but it arrived to the US in 1946, January of 1946. So it must be detained somewhere in between Hanoi and the US. Would it be possible it was detained in Hong Kong?
No chop there.
Anybody has an idea of it?
I think if it left Hanoi on the 2nd, was it the 2nd?
Yeah.
Of December.
Yes, 2nd of December.
Then it wouldn't have arrived in Hong Kong before the Japanese.
Would it have arrived? No.
I think the travel time from there is round about 4, 5, or 6 days.
Yes.
Yeah. Peacetime, it's sort of 4 days, isn't it, by shipping?
And generally speaking, the shipping from Saigon went via Singapore or Bangkok. If I remember rightly, so therefore it would have stopped somewhere before it came to Hong Kong. So perhaps it was held there, but I can't see any evidence.
Yes.
On the back of it stopping anywhere else either.
Yeah. No any transit mark during 1941.
No.
So I just don't know where it has been detained, and then after the war, it has been resent to the U.S.
Maybe never left Hanoi.
Maybe. But on the back of the cover, John, what is can you read the Hanoi?
The Hanoi is the 2nd of December. The
Another
same mark
one.
as the
front.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me show another one. Maybe another cover. This one. This one is I have shown to Richard before. This one it's
John, speaking. Can you put your phone sideways so that the image will be larger?
Yes.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you put your phone? Yeah. Can you put your phone sideways? Therefore, the image will be larger.
Oh, okay. Like this. Like this.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Much better.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's was sent in the 3rd of December 1941 to England. It's written on the cover, set by sea to US. So the rate should be $2, is it?
Yeah.
This one is just stamped $1.50. So it's written, said to be the last letter, is it? So this one, I think it was sent not by sea to US because it has been underpaid. Maybe it has been sent by the CNAC Viva and Grun to England. So it can send by this $1.50. I don't know. Anyone would agree with me? I don't know.
I think it's very frustrating. It might have done, but without any sort of transit or idea of what it reached England.
No transit to England is especially there's very few transit marked or arrival marked to England.
No.
Yeah.
3rd of December, is it?
Yeah.
That was after the last ship went to USA.
So yeah, that's because this cover was underrated. It has been short of stamps.
Yeah,
so I think
3rd of December, it didn't go by sea to USA.
Yeah.
Too late.
Too late. Maybe too late. And because of the short of the postage, I think
it was just posted later than the last ship that left Hong Kong for USA.
What is the last ship?
Round about 28th of November.
Oh, okay.
End of November.
Yes.
So I think my guess is that Mr. Heath, who was in the Royal Artillery, I have one of his covers too, as you know, and I think originally he wanted to send it by sea, but by the time it got to the post office, it wasn't possible. So at 1:50, took it out via Rangoon.
Yeah, maybe because he may have written the by sea to US before he posted the letter.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Well,
what's the meaning? Sorry.
Gentlemen,
what's the meaning on the letter in pencil, written in pencil, the last letter?
Last letter, I think it's the receiver. The receiver has written that.
Okay.
The last letter he received from
this guy
from Hong Kong.
Yes. Well, gentlemen, we have to take a short break from here, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes. Okay. See you again.
Okay. I'll have to say goodbye.
Me too. Goodbye. Good luck.